We're starting in 5 minutes, boys.
Okay, thanks, Juanma. Really excited for the show today. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. Whoa, look at this. Jimmy the Bag, a message from Gabe Morency. I wonder what this could all be about. Let's take a look at this, Jim.
What's up, Pete? I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is I'm coming to San Jose, Costa Rica. We're going to be kicking it live. It's going to be an awesome betcast, Super Bowl 52. The bad news is if I don't do well on the tables, I might have to borrow a couple of bucks and I might have to sleep on your couch. But either way, we're going to tear it apart, man. Super Bowl 52, live from Costa Rica. See you there, Pete.
Jimmy the Bag. Gabe Morency is going to be joining us for our Super Bowl podcast. This is scary and exciting at the same time. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think? Are you looking forward to this?
Very much so, man. It's not a party unless Gabe Morency's down here.
You think you can handle hanging? You think you can survive an entire Super Bowl in the same room with Gabe Morency?
Super Bowl day's the only day you're allowed to get day drunk. You're allowed to get all fucked up. It's part of the fucking celebration.
I just had a brainstorm. You know what would be a great idea is if Donnie Rightside came down here too. You think he'd be willing to come down?
Check this shit out. I'm way ahead of you, Pete.
No way.
Oh, Jimmy, I'm in. Send me down there. Costa Rica, let's do it. February 4th, Super Bowl Sunday, live betcast. We'll be there before, during, and after the game, breaking it all down. Let's win some money.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to have a full house for the Super Bowl Betcast, the official SBR Super Bowl Betcast. There's going to be Jimmy, me, and Donnie, and Gabe, all powered by Bet Online, and it's going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Super Bowl Sunday, February 4th. Jimmy the Bag, are you psyched?
Psyched, man. Let's get that cash.
Sportsbook Review Super Bowl Betcast is brought to you by Bet Online.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. It's Friday for the Super Bowl, February 2nd. This is the Loshak in the Bag Show, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Friday, February 2nd. Jimmy the Bag. Yesterday was a pretty good day, man. Yesterday was a pretty good day. We continue rolling in NHL. NBA continues to be a little bit up and down for me, but you continue to have a good read. And in college basketball, overall our units in this show, we're both down, but your read, I'm telling you, man, your read in college basketball is great. Yesterday, you had 4 plays that I blindly tailed you on, and 3 of them cashed. The Belmont play was just one of those. And I said it before you in the show yesterday at 6 o'clock. In college basketball, like I said, sometimes there are these big road favorites that are massive traps, and sometimes there's like a 12-point road favorite that is easy money, should be about a 25-point road favorite. It usually has to do with injuries and team situations. You perfectly identified that with Belmont yesterday. Went on it 2 ways, and I got a cheap 2 units just tailing him. Jim did all the work. I got 2 units as well.
Well, I'm starting to recognize what I'm doing when you trust the breakdown.
Yes.
So I need to be consciously aware of what those times are and keep finding them and keep delivering them.
And if you noticed, what game did I not tail you on?
Wichita
State game. I knew it was a risky one. I knew I knew that was an over. I didn't pull my bet back. I even cashed with the over. Right, and but I'm telling you, man. But this is good news overall, Jim. Because what I'm trying to say, obviously in NBA and NHL, obviously you know what you're doing. In NBA, in college basketball, I'm telling you, man, you got something there, Jim. You got something there, Jim.
Thank you. Well, it gives me great hope moving forward, and I'm not, I think January was a very tough month, but as you say, your success in February has been long-lasting, and I really think we're going to have a good month.
Absolutely. NBA, let's just review what happened. The Memphis-Detroit game, man, and that's another one. That was not a brilliant call by me. I was just like, this game has stay far away written all over it. You know what I'm saying?
After I was like, Memphis was such an easy spot, and I'm surprised I missed it. I've actually, you say I have a good read in NBA. I've had a really bad 48 hours in NBA, and I'm really treading softly. In fact, I've capped all of these games and haven't made an official pick yet. And I think I'm not worried about moving forward doing that because with the chat and with us working together, we find the angles while I break them down. So I'm not going to force picks in the morning when I can work with everybody.
Absolutely. Now, of course, if all of the commenters go away, then we'll be in real trouble. But this is a great community we got here.
It's so great,
and we're adding people who are sharp as hell. When everyone comes in with their opinions. It's almost gold, right?
It is gold.
It is
gold. It's going to make us money. It's going to improve our lives.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's look at some other some initial comments, and then we'll get into the slate for today's card. Jimmy the Bag, did you have a chance to look at the college basketball games today, or are you going to wait for the afternoon for that?
I'm going to wait for the afternoon, but now we've been with these teams for so long, so I have feelings about them without capping them, but I have no official picks, and I haven't fully capped them yet.
Yes. All right, I am scanning the comments. Just looking at what we got. The Philly Reggie says, tons of great insight on this show, man. Thank you very much, Reggie. And Reggie is one of the people who gives us some great insight.
Reggie's great. God,
Absolutely.
I love that guy.
Particularly like to see when he's on the same side as me. All right, let's see. Other comments here. Oh, look at this. Andrew Shue. Oh, my God. Listen to this. Friday feel-good story for everyone. I call it my quote-unquote Loshak story. I was minus 24 units overall beginning of January, now plus 6 units, all thanks to Loshak in the Bag, and the chat community loved the shows.
Wow.
There you go. That's got to be a headliner of one of the calendar quote pages.
That's wonderful, Andrew. That makes me so happy, man. God, it makes me feel good.
You know what I might do? I might make a calendar and put all the best quotes of that month in the calendar and put the top quotes in the biggest letters on top. That's a cool idea, right?
Really cool idea.
I would buy that calendar. Lots of people would buy that. We would give it out for free, of course, to all these people. Wow, very, very nice. Aspiritualate says, where is Pete's neck? Remo says, Pete is so confused. Justin says, Pete, what is that hat doing? I don't know. I figure it's a cool look to put it like just as close to your eyes as you possibly can. That's what they do on the West Coast, don't they, Jim?
That's what they
do.
do.
It like this, and they button the shit up right to here. Now, I can barely see like this, but I can see. So maybe for good luck, I'll see if I do the show like this. You know what I'm saying? Like if I do the show like this and I sweep the board 8-0 tonight, then I will do the show like this every day.
Absolutely, you have to.
A bad day, yeah. It is a little bit uncomfortable. It doesn't quite work. I can't quite see, and it's painful on my eyes. But I think it's a hip look. Bill
Butlicker's upset that I haven't. He feels like he hasn't been trusted by us. And Bill, man, these guys like Jansen Bonzone, for instance, saved me $200 when he was on Nova and got me off of Creighton.
Yes.
And Bill, the longer you're on the chat, I mean, obviously, the more we trust you.
Right.
With the last name of Buttlicker, it takes a couple winning days for us to have faith in you.
Absolutely.
Man.
Where did he say that quote?
Oh, he said it a few times and using capitals.
Where is it?
Oh, it's early.
Did he delete it? It's early.
Oh, no, it's not. It's all in capitals.
Bill Butlicker saying, Jimmy, I told you about Atlanta. Bill Butlicker saying, Jimmy, I told you. He's complaining that we don't trust him. Where is that?
That's let me find it.
I want to read this comment for myself.
Butlicker. Bill Butlicker. Jimmy, you got to start trusting me. I gave out free money picks.
This motherfucker made his commenter name Bill Buttlicker, and now saying you got to start trusting me. Your last name is Buttlicker on the chat. All right,
but he says I'm here to stay.
All right, good. Thank you very much. No, I do trust the guy. I'm just saying
Absolutely.
you do put yourself a little bit behind the 8 ball. I mean, you get cheap laughs. But you put yourself a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes to taken seriously. Not that you can't make it up.
Oh, and there's our man Barry Shue right there.
Very nice, yes.
Barry Shue, Portland, baby.
Baby, yes. Very close. Of course, it went to overtime, and the first half also cashed, but by a half point. But a win's a win, and I'm quite certain that if that line had been 4, Barry Shue wouldn't have said it was a great bet. I think it was the line that indicated, and certainly he had a better read on that one than the market did, which went in the opposite direction. And I also nailed the second half under on that one. It's just the second half plays are just like there's a lot of volatility with them, so I don't know if and also it's hard to tweet out. What I need is like an assistant where I can just shout out the plays and the assistant tweets it out because of course the seconds are very important. But yeah, I'm doing very well on and Steve Allen says everybody on Portland last night. We all Mutt B saying we all got Portland last night. Absolutely. Brant Hunt says, even if you don't tail the picks, tons of great info and pure entertainment. Thank you so much, Brant Hunt. Yeah, absolutely. These past couple of weeks, I have not had good picks, but thank God I can say that I've given some nice entertainment value, which justifies my position here on camera. All right, let's see.
I like this too. Alex Rodriguez coming in saying IUPUI is a lock. I can't wait to. I've really starting to feel comfortable with IUPUI and Detroit Mercy, and I'm very much. And I was on IUPUI and it was rewarded and then kind of got burnt. So I'm happy that you think that, Alex Rodriguez. I'm really looking forward to hammering that.
Yeah,
game.
And Barry Shue starts off by saying, I like Illinois-Chicago today. Very underrated dog. No, I haven't looked at that game, but in their last game, Illinois-Chicago against Wisconsin-Milwaukee, that was one of my plays. They were huge value on that one.
We got them at +4.5, and they dominated that whole game.
And the line moved in the opposite direction. They opened at like 3. They wound up closing at like 4.5. So a pretty strong move in favor of Wisconsin-Milwaukee in that game. I didn't understand that move at all.
Oh, yeah, and Paulie D saying Youngstown first half was money. Remember,
Yes.
remember our girl,
Yes,
she said she was taking it on the money line.
Yes.
Native Queen plus 320 on the money line in that game.
And who's the one who was sending all the hearts and shit? Who was it sending all the hearts and shit? Well, so there's someone who's sending all hearts and shit, and it was funny. Also suggested that OKC on the first half over would be a great bet, and that one cashed easily.
It cashed easily.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, man, these friggin' commenters.
And she wrote pizza cutie, pizza cutie,
Yes. We got all kinds of commenters just spitting out wise advice and winning plays yesterday. Really.
Swiatek says UIC was my first bet this morning.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so the point is that a ton of great calls yesterday. Jim and I had a winning day, but if you include all the great calls that we didn't tail from the chat box, they gave Youngstown State first half, even the money line if you had some balls. OKC first half over yesterday. I mean, really a lot of great stuff.
I left some money on the table. That was the first thing I thought of this morning. I got 2 tweets at me yesterday. One saying, and they were messages, not like tweets, just private message. One saying, remember, I live in East Tennessee State.
Yes.
I live in the area. They're going to slaughter.
Yes. Sanford,
yes, and they did just that.
Yes.
And he had them on first half full game. And then my man Nostra Toda said UNC Greensboro is going to slaughter.
Yeah, man.
Man, so I mean, really good stuff happening here. I think we're going to keep rolling.
Great stuff.
And on a side thing, Maxwell Smart is making shitloads of money on UConn's women.
Really?
UConn's
Yeah.
He keeps banking off of it. He keeps making it by not winning, just barely winning, but by winning by huge margins.
Well, I mean, the general wisdom is that the smaller the market, the bigger the edges, right? So, women's college basketball, obviously quite a small market. So you would assume that if you spend some time looking into that, man, I wish we had a little bit of extra time so we can handicap for fun, like fucking Czech basketball leagues and Iceland hockey leagues and all that kind of shit.
That shit just takes so much study, though, man.
It does, and you really have to find. And also, the reason that the edges are bigger in the smaller markets is because the information is often harder to find. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not like pseudo harder to find, but really you can find it. It is actually harder to find. You know what I mean? So that's why. But yes, so congratulations to Maxwell Smart, who also comments on these shows. Let's see.
Paulie D says I was down 1,200 2 weeks ago, now down 50.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Let's get you in the fucking black.
I'm telling you, man.
Let's get you in the black tonight.
And to first-time viewers, all these people who are doing much better in this show, it's only has a very small amount to do with the info and the research that Jim and I give, although it does have something to do with that. It has mostly to do with all the commenters that we have here giving their opinions, Jim and I analyzing their opinions, and just like with the professional handicappers that I've done videos with the commenters, I start to get a feel for what they do well and when they're right and when they're maybe not right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that stuff, it's coming together, boys. All right, and once again, UIC. I didn't even get a chance to look at the college basketball card, but who are they? They're playing Oakland. Okay, yeah. And we did get a comment from Al Mack, I think, or someone who said that honestly, I like Oakland to roll. Where is that?
Yeah, and Swiatek says I starting to think UIC is a trap. Just before we move on to this, there is a couple things what we were just talking about. Al Mack says I know European basketball pretty good, and I know he knows European hockey pretty well as well. So Al Mack, and he's our man in the ACC, who's been very, very helpful. Who I just absolutely love capping with. And then Andy Harris says Korean baseball is my thing. So let's add these things in. That's just going to give us more angles and give us more possibilities, opportunities to make cash.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we can talk about this in ad nauseum. Wow, a lot of really great comments. Yeah, John Puthoff says, love UIC. That's an interesting one. In general, I feel like Oakland might be a little bit overvalued in general, but I'm going to look into this game in depth. And, of course, we got the Ivies and everything. All right, I'm just scanning over.
Matt 2, 1984 NBA, he's plus 15 units in just 2 weeks following the show. But I've noticed the difference of having him on the show. He's only been on for 2 weeks, Madu, 1984 NBA, but thank you for being a part of this. I think you're helping a great deal. So congratulations on your winning. You're helping us all with your insight and wisdom.
Al Max says, I love Asian baseball. So fun in the summer. When does Asian baseball go? Is it going on now, or is it going on full all year round, or what?
You know, I believe it goes on at the same time as majors. I think they overlap. So
all right, and here we go. Sammy Camachione says, "Great show, guys. All in caps. First listening bank $2,500." Sammy Camachione.
So man in Brooklyn is going to take us out.
Oh,
in Brooklyn,
yeah,
right?
Brooklyn. Oh, man. One thing they do have in Brooklyn is fucking kick-ass restaurants, and I guarantee you that that all the gentrification has not made that shit go away.
Oh, for sure.
That is the one thing. That is one thing that New York has better than anywhere else is food, for sure.
And
for sure,
Steven Alla says, Jimmy, Italian soccer is my thing. So this is great. Kyle Mueller, though, talking about what we're talking about, says UIC is going for revenge from the loss at home. And we do, like, you know, we could talk about all this stuff for so long, but we do have, 13 pro games that we do have to cap. So
we'll get to it. One final comment. I do want to address this. Brant Hunt says, Pete, I was watching the Denver game last night and pounded the live over. Do you ever fuck with shit like that? You are totals Loshak. The answer to that, well, first of all, I every season, my season is saved by second half bets. Yes, I do second half bets, which is basically a version of live betting. Live betting is very, first of all, it's very cracked out. You have to be very careful because your bets can be all correlated, and it's very time intensive, right? You have to be monitoring the games and this and that. There's always been great value with live betting, especially when it started. Now they're getting a lot sharper with the live betting lines. But yes, the answer is no. I don't do that much live betting, but the only reason is just because I don't have the time. I would love to. There is great value. It's just very, very, very attention intensive, and also you have to be very careful because you can easily wind up having way too much money on one outcome. So it's very intensive in terms of your effort and your energy and your attention, and also you have to be careful because it's the most cracked out way of betting. You know what I mean?
It sure
Especially like in baseball, you can wind up betting every inning, and all of a sudden you got like a quarter of your bankroll on a baseball game, which you would never do in any other situation. So, but the answer is, the short answer is yes, absolutely. I love live betting. I would love to do it a lot more. I don't, but I do a ton of second half betting in basketball, and that's basically where all my profits come from, or my lack of losses come from. All right, so there you go. So let's move on. Yeah, Almac says, Pete, tweet your second half bets. The problem is that it's just like each second half bet is only up for a few minutes. I have to make my decisions, and then I have to tweet it out, and it's just like I'm just not sure if there's enough time to do it. But maybe I will start doing that, especially in February, where like my second half bets combined with my familiarity with the teams I would be shocked if there's not much in sports betting that would shock me, but I would be shocked if my second half bets in February turn out to be negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. Let's start. Let's see if we can enough. Congratulations. We're having some fun here. It is the Friday show, and let's go to NHL. Now we can throw up the record in NHL, and this is the record that I think is most reflective of the research Jim and I do. We're both way up in NHL, and Jim, you cracked 20 units yesterday. You're now up over 20 units in NHL, and me, even though I did do a stupid thing and took all overs in that one first day back from the All-Star break and wound up taking it in the bottom mouth that way, I've since bounced back and now up almost 17 units in NHL. So we're doing very well in NHL, John.
I'm very proud of it, but I just know how difficult it is, and I just don't want to talk about it too much because I'm worried. Good. That's the right attitude. That's the correct attitude. Jim is learning in front of your eyes. This is the education of a handicapper. That's what this show should be called. The subtitle of this show. All right, in NHL we got 4 games going. Obviously, Pittsburgh is going. Jim, a couple weeks ago, you said just start betting on Pittsburgh blindly every game. And since you said that, that has been very profitable. Today's a little bit tough because Washington's a quality team. In Pittsburgh, you're getting a big line there. Another game on the card that's interesting, Vegas at Minnesota. Vegas is just a team with great character. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, 2 games ago, they won that game. They scored 3 goals in the last 50 seconds or something like that. And yesterday, they pull it out again. I'm thinking that maybe this is a time to time a loss by Vegas. We know how great Minnesota's been at home. Let's start with that game. That's the only game that I really did bet on in NHL on the overnight lines. I took Minnesota -1 at my normal solid unit size. What do you think, Jim? Time a loss by Vegas here. What do you think?
Oh, I find it extremely interesting. Big Boss saying, going to start the month fading Vegas on the road because I said they would fall off sometime this season, but this is the most magical thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
And you know why? It's character, and character doesn't really go away. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And James Neal was talking about it yesterday. I mean, I don't have the quotes in front of me, but he was talking about it yesterday. He was saying all these guys were left available by their teams. All these guys had their own teams say, you know what, we're not going to protect you. We don't need you moving forward.
It's kind of like what our chat box is like here. All these guys, rejects, losers, been rejected in life. But we've come together here to give some great winning plays. And look what we produce.
That's how I feel personally.
Yes.
It's not been easy. And as soon as I got to this seat, the smile instantly returned to my face.
Yes.
So I can vouch for how good it feels being with you guys after a rough 38 years. But in saying all that, this is tricky. And I don't think, Big Boss, we can just start fading. Now, although Minnesota Wild XL Energy Center, if there was ever a spot to do it, when they went into Columbus, I said on this show, their road record makes no sense. They're too good of a hockey team to continue to do that.
Yeah.
The Wild are coming off a rare road win over the Jackets. They're getting Nino Niederreiter back, which will make them a completely healthy squad for the first time all year. But, man, it's scary fading these nights now.
Yep. Here comes Dan Kelly saying it all. Don't fade Vegas until you see them losing. It's like a stock chart. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Great point, Dan Kelly. But, listen, they're on a back-to-back. They are human. Minnesota's been great at home. Minnesota, as you know, Jim, is a team that you're generally high on. You think that their winning at home is less fluky than their losing on the road, right?
Absolutely.
I'm taking them. Taking them. All right? I'm taking them. I'm taking them -1. I did bet it, and I'm going to take Minnesota -1. I understand the arguments against it, betting against Vegas, but I am going to take it. Once again, it's all about the line. It's not a huge line here. Best money line -139 at BetOnline, and the best puck line will be +205 at Pinnacle. I'm taking it. Minnesota -1.
You know, how can they? I mean, the Knights are on a second half of a back-to-back. I mean, How can they keep doing this? I mean, we keep repeating it, but come on. They're on this road trip now on the second night of a back-to-back. I just, I have to think that the Wild is the play. Brent Brooks says Zach Parise needs to start scoring. I don't even think they need Parise to start scoring with this Wild team. They just need him to lead by example, be good in the dressing room, be responsible defensively. Interesting. Teddy B says Super Bowl is also in town. Big crowd tonight. You know, that I mean, they sell out all the time, but there is going to be more electricity in the building. That is a good point, Teddy. James Vegas says Dubnyk will stand on his head. Minnesota style of game won pretty easy in Vegas 4-2, and that's true. One of the rare losses on the season for the Knights was on November 30th when they lost 4-2. Now Al Mack says they do good in back-to-backs, and David Angeli says Knights keep it rolling. My lean is certainly the Wild are going to take care of business here, and I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take them on the puck line.
Yeah. Nell C says, I like Mini Pete. I mean, the point is that just Vegas is, they are what they are. We know what they are, but they're still human. Back-to-backs are not easy. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the road.
You're absolutely right. They're still human. Now, Dan Kelly made an excellent point, and I feel your point totally, but this can't keep happening. Their road record, I mean, 15-9-2. It was just recently, 11 or 12-9-2 until this 3-game winning streak. I understand you guys going with Vegas. And Arian Costa says Knights lose today, but this is the spot. And James Vegas says 3 games and 4 nights for Vegas. And like Pete said, they are human.
Yes.
I'm on Wild -1.5.
All right, +205 is the puck line right now. Jamal Witten says under is the play. James Vegas says 3 games and 4 nights for Vegas. Fade Vegas. Arian Costa says Knights lose today. Al Mack, Wild are 12-3 in their last 15 home games. Yes, Minnesota's been awesome at home this year. Okay, so and then over/under. A lot of people have been suggesting that the under might be a good play. James Gilkin says Vegas game under 1.5 first period is a great play. That might be a good play as well. Although David Angela says over in Vegas, and Eric Swiatek says why is everyone in such a hurry to be there when Vegas finally slips? They're fucking really good, plain and simple. I think that maybe the reason is that statistically they have overachieved a little bit. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not necessarily in a hurry to be there when Vegas slips. I just like to bet Minnesota at home, and they're against a team that's on a back-to-back. The fact that it's Vegas makes me nervous, but I'm willing to do it anyway. I'm not necessarily looking in a rush to fade Vegas at all.
No, and what they're doing is phenomenal. But but let's. I'm starting to get concerned that we're not going to get to all these games.
Yeah, we will. And one final comment here from Al Mack. Vegas, in their last 5 games, in the 3rd game of a 3-4 situation. So they've been in this spot before. In their last 5 games, in the 3rd game of a 3-4 situation, 4-1.
They're absolutely beyond any comprehension. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Okay, let's move on in the NHL. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh game, Jim. Are they worth a bet again, even as a big favorite here?
Well, if you look at the way they've played the Capitals in the last little while, obviously they have their number in the playoffs. But if you leave that alone, Capitals at home, they've won 8 of their past 11 meetings. Or the Penguins have beaten the Washington 8 of their last 11 meetings. They're just straight fire right now. Crosby's on a 10-game point scoring streak. Evgeny Malkin was just named first star of the month after recording 12 goals, 19 points in January. Pens have won 3 straight. They're 9-3 in January. And all of these wins, at least for the last, 2 weeks, week and a half, or whatever, have all been by -1.5 covering, -1.5. I'm making huge. It's saving me right now, and I'm now finally back in payout time with my local today. The Connor Sheary's out with a lower body injury, and now we get to see Brian Rust back on that top line with Crosby, where he belongs. Although I like Sheary there too, but I love Rust. I love his character. Pens are 18-7-1 at home. Capitals have won 2 in a row, 6-2-2 in January. Kuznetsov and Backstrom have switched spots. Kuznetsov is back between Ovechkin and Wilson. We waited all year for this Capitals power play to improve. All year, and it finally has, like we expected. They're now 9th in the league. Pens are number 1. Capitals are 11-8-4 on the road, but I think that I'm not going to stop. Like Brent Brooks says, Pens -1.5 all day. Wow, I'm not going to stop.
Wow, you're even against Washington's been playing well, huh?
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. But it's just been succeeding for me, and I'm not going to stop.
Okay, so the best Pittsburgh puck line will be +184. That's the current line at Pinnacle. That is headed down. It opened at +201, so Pittsburgh has been taking money. It's now down to +185 at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. Every cent here counts. +185 at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. You really like that one, Jim, huh?
I wouldn't say that I really like it, but I like it.
Right.
And you know what? If I only have these 2 plays on the NHL card, I go home very comfortable in a place where I feel like I can do really well.
All right, now San Jose and Columbus. San Jose, of course, has been losing, but I feel like at some point they're going to turn it around when they figure out, they need to get it together with after losing Thornton. I mean, was he that important to that team?
He was, because of his character. And you know what? I'm shocked at the stats he put up, but even when he doesn't put up those stats, they love Big Joe in the dressing room. He's just he's a character guy. Now, they have other character players on their team. They should be able to get their shit together at some point. But man, he's people just love Big Joe.
Yeah, and I took Columbus in their shootout loss to Minnesota. I was thinking maybe a shot with the under here, maybe a shot with the first period under. Oh, also a lot of the unders that we didn't give yesterday in NHL cash as well. Left a lot of money on the table. They talked me off of the under in the Carolina game, which was a great call. The St. Louis Boston game, which was an under lean for me, that one went under. So this one again, I would be leaning under.
But we were very successful in our totals last night.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying we could have
sure.
nailed most of them. What do you think about the under in San Jose Columbus?
It really makes sense. It really makes sense. The Sharks have lost 4 straight, clearly feeling the loss of Big Joe. They lost 2 opening games of this 5-game road trip, losing to the Penguins and Red Wings on back-to-back nights. Sharks are 12-9-5 on the road. The Blue Jackets lost 3-2 in a shootout at home to Minnesota on Tuesday night. Tortorella said he worked his squad very hard in practice. His antics are tiring. I bet you the Jackets in the dressing room are getting tired of his shit. How hard he is on these guys. He's such a strange guy. He's so hard, and he just cracks the whip so hard. And then he loves animals, loves dogs so much, and he becomes this sweetheart around dogs, and yet he works these guys to the bone.
No, that's classic. Like a lot of times, like serial killers, they lovingly tend to patch of pigeons or squirrels or shit. So they're like, no, I'm a serial killer, but I'm really a good person because I feed all these squirrels and I pet them and shit. Classic.
That makes sense because it's so strange. And the Jackets have such a difficult time scoring, and they haven't had a 2-goal lead in a hockey game since late December. They're 27th in the league, averaging just 2.5 goals per game, have the worst power play in the league, covering just 14.1% of their opportunities. That's a coaching issue when you have the worst in the league. And then Cam Atkinson signs this big contract, and he gets benched immediately. Then he hurts himself. You know Tortorella's in his grill. I just find him, Nick Goxer says Tortorella's a whack job. Bet
Abroad says I'm taking all overs in NHL tonight. Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay. McGoxer says Torch is a whack job.
Yeah. I'll mark Sharks 0-4 in the last 4 overall. If any team is due, it's them.
And Al Mack says under is 18-5 in the Sharks' last 23 meetings in Columbus. That's also when they used to be a more of a low-scoring team.
And they have changed. You know, I feel like this is a funny spot, and I think I'm going to just let this game go.
Okay.
But if I was going to lean to anything, I would definitely lean to the under.
Okay. Oh. Bill Buttlicker says Tortorella has a foot fetish like Rex Ryan. Really, that's interesting. That's certainly interesting.
Oh, and Gogster says guys over in Pittsburgh, and that was another kind of a lean. But then Matt Murray had a good game. I think Matt Murray's going to get hot, and it'll be an intense. But that was another lean. I just want to mention. I think that you're probably on the right track. But I'm going to leave this Sharks Jackets. But Swiatek likes the under. Jamal Witten likes the money line. Al Mack likes the Sharks.
All right, and then the only other – are you going to pass, Jim?
I'm going to pass, yeah.
All right, I think I'm going to take the first period under. I'll give that one in a second. The only other game is Detroit-Carolina. Do you have anything to say about that one, Jim?
Hurricanes have won 3 straight on the second half of a home back-to-back after beating the Habs 2-0 last night. Cam Ward got the shutout last night. I don't know if you guys know this right now, but if they play Cam Ward again tonight – I will back the Hurricanes. But if they do what most coaches do in a back-to-back and start Scott Darling, then I won't back them. So I don't know if you guys can, because I didn't know as of early this morning. Canes are 12-7-4 at home and are completely healthy. They're a healthy squad. The Wings are coming off a 2-1 home shootout victory over the Sharks on Wednesday night. Big boost getting Abdelkader, Hellman, Daly back like we talked about, but they continue to struggle to score. 28th in the league at just 2.5 goals per game. That's it for me. I'm telling you, if Cam Ward starts, I'm taking the Hurricanes. But until I find that out, I'm not doing it.
So we'll know that in a 6 o'clock show. All right, so I'm just taking one play, Minnesota -1, and Jim's on Minnesota puck line, +205, and the Pittsburgh puck line +185. All right, let's move on to NBA, where I am trying to get back into positive units. We can throw that record up, I guess. Jim is still nicely up in NBA, despite a little bit of an iffy week. It's definitely a kind of a crazy card. Not a whole lot that I was seeing. The only play that I really liked here was maybe a bounce back from Golden State early. I guess we can talk about that first. But once again, nice job, Jim, on still being up in the NBA, and hopefully I'll be able to get positive at some point relatively quickly. Golden State, of course, off a very embarrassing loss. I did have Utah in that one. Very nice job by me. Is Golden State on the first half maybe a no-brainer play here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, how do they not? They always seem to step up in this situation, but that was a horrifying loss. Worst loss in 131 games, 129-99. Capped a month in which the Warriors ranked 26th among the 30 NBA teams in NBA defensive rating. Is that something we're going to see for the rest of the season? The last time these teams met, the Warriors put forth a similar effort when they lost 110-106 at home, but both Curry and Durant were out of that game. Warriors followed the defeat with 11 straight wins. Livingston will be out for personal reasons. He helps defensively. Jordan Bell will miss a 6th straight game. Warriors are 21-5 on the road. Kings have won 3 of 4, all on the road. And my God, did you see how good De'Aaron Fox looked of late? Holy shit, I was watching some clips of him this morning, and man, this guy wants the ball in the important moments. He's going to be a hell of a player moving forward. In his last 5 games, all on the road, averaging 15.6 points, 3.6 assists, while committing just 6 turnovers. In January, he averaged 14.1 points, 5.2 assists, while hitting 42.5% from 3. Now, Jaeger is going to miss the game. So whatever caused him to feel lightheaded, it seems like it might be a real situation. Willie Cauley-Stein is expected to be back in the lineup. Scala Bissiere will be out of for a couple weeks with a shoulder strain. I don't know. This is a tricky spot. Nice. Tomor's here. He says the Warriors are bored. They will be fine. He says Houston is the only threat to them, and Paul won't be healthy come playoff time. Charleston says, I think the over is the play on the Warriors game.
A lot of other people were saying they like the under at 221.5, which is certainly an interesting lean. I have no opinion on the total on that one. I was just thinking maybe, Golden State. I mean, he says Golden State is bored, so maybe they still, even after, if you get really bored, even after a blowout loss, you might not care about the next game.
You can't after what Steve Kerr said. Steve Kerr really called them out. I expect them to step up.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take Golden State on the first half. It is now, where is that line? It's 7.5 or 8. I did bet it, so I will take that one. I will take Golden State first half, -7.5, -110 at Bet365. It's 114 at Pinnacle and 115 at Heritage and 8 everywhere else. I'll take it, -7.5, -110 Golden State first half. All right, Jim, you want to make a play on this game?
I don't right now, no. Jeremy M says tonight my best play, and the one I jumped on all over is the under 222 in this game.
Yeah.
Now it's 223, says Teddy B. And Al Mack really likes Sacramento plus 13.5.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So
No one, not that many people saying that. No one's saying they agree with my play on the first half. Kilted Chimp says Golden State will win but not cover. I mean, yeah, Sacramento has been covering recently. I'm a little bit surprised that everyone is saying either stay off or if anything under. These are some sharp commenters we got here. I would think that the Golden State on the first half was a no-brainer play that at least a lot of people, if we're not right, at least a lot of people would be liking in the chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. And now Byron Walter says Golden State third quarter -4. Okay, so he's liking Golden State to pick it up in the second half. All right. Well, let's move on, Jimmy the Bag. What else do you like from the big NBA card tonight?
I'm telling you, this is a really difficult card, and also I'm a little gun shy, so I have really taken it. Really taken it in the last 48 hours. So I'd just like to talk out all these games and kind of do it together. So why don't we do Pacers at Hornets?
Everyone loving the under, though, on the Warriors game. Very interesting. David Orellana taking the under. Everyone likes the under. I'm not exactly sure why.
Well, Hako's come in and said, I love the over. Dark Kent says Warriors will put up 125.
Yeah. All right. What do you like, Jim? No other picks for you, Jim.
I'd like to find picks, but I find this card very difficult. Oh, Andre, I will connect with you. I'm sorry, I've just been so busy yesterday, but I'll connect with you for sure.
All right, well, I'll tell you one game then.
Sure.
If you, I was thinking now, the Lakers, of course, at times have had good success defensively recently, but their last two road games, of course, they've got blown out, and we know that Brooklyn is a team that can be, very, very nicely focused on defense. Well, they're coming off a high-scoring game. I was thinking about an under in the Lakers-Brooklyn game. What do you think, Jim?
Interesting. And what is the line at right now?
Well, it's gotten bet up from 216.5 to 217, which I guess makes sense in light of their recent games, but I was thinking about an under here.
After losing 11 of 12 games from December 12th to January 5th, Lakers have won 8 of 12. They've lost their last two games on the road by a combined 34 points. Orlando, Toronto, Lonzo Ball will continue to be out. It should be okay. So I thought that Brook Lopez was going to play a much bigger role on this team, and he slows the pace down. At least he helps on the defensive end. The Nets' career scoring leader is coming back for the first time, and the Lakers are playing him less and less. He played just 8 minutes for the second straight game, and he's averaging career lows, 11.6 points, 3.8 boards, and 20.6 minutes. He sat out the fourth quarter in 16 of the last 18 games. Lakers are 7-17 on the road. And then D'Angelo Russell, the player that the Nets got in return for Lopez, is finally looked like himself in the last game. He's averaging just 9 points in 16 minutes since his return, but he put up 22 points in that win. That's surprising. It was a surprising win to me, 116-108 over the Sixers. The Nets have gone 3-3 in those games. That win came after the Nets had lost their previous 3 games by a combined 55 points. They're getting much more difficult to handicap. I'm really losing when they're going to step up. Dinwiddie keeps playing well. Hollis Jefferson remains out of the lineup, and I like his defense. The Nets are getting Chris LeVert back. I'm very uncomfortable with this game. Okay, some interesting stuff here. Matt U, 1984 NBA says over in Nets Lakers, but everyone else seems to be saying that they like the under. David Orellana says Brooklyn will out-rebound the Lakers. I like the Nets here. Al Mack says I really like the under in Brooklyn. Matt U says scared of the under since the Nets and Lakers play so fast. Justin Searcy says Lakers Brooklyn, ? That's going under. Yeah, I know they do play fast, but and there Donald Trump says Brooklyn Lakers over is the play. I was honestly expecting the line to be 220 at least. Christian Rivas says, I only like the over because Lakers have been allowing 125 points last 2 games. Yes, but before that, they were having some success playing strong defensive games, so I'm thinking they're going to try to. Kilda Chimpa says Lakers is a stay-off game. Maybe I will hold off. Wow, Al Mack predicting the Warriors winning 101-92, so a very low-scoring game predicted by Al Mack. You know, I'm starting, the more I think about that game, I'm starting to think he's right. And now Greg Schneider says stay off the Lakers-Nets game. A lot of people saying just stay off the game. And Donald Trump says both teams are going to agree with a high-paced Lakers on an East trip. If anything, take the over. I mean, it is a game in Brooklyn, on a weekend. So, wow. Bill Butlicker says Nets over free money. Really? Does he mean the full game or the all right, Nets over free money. If that one cashes by 10 points or more, we will officially put Bill Butlicker, despite his commenter name, in the posters, in the handicappers we respect category. How about that? Butlicker's on his way. But it can't just be close and covered by like 1 or 2 points. Yeah. It has to cover by at least 10. If that game covers by 10 on the current line, if it lands on 228, let's say, then Bill Butlicker, despite
his commenter name will officially be in the Cappers We Respect category.
Absolutely.
All right. Bill Butlicker really liking the over in the Nets game. All right, I'm going to hold off for now. Once again, we can give picks at the 6 o'clock show, and that has been proving to be more and more and more where the best plays that we give come. On the 6 o'clock show, we get a lot more information. We get the wisdom of the line moves. We'll see where this line moves. So let's see. Jamal Witten likes Brooklyn money line. And all right, I guess that's about it for now on that one. Tom Marino says Nets aren't a bad defensive team with Carroll. I think it's a bad game to bet. All right, so the consensus generally seems to be to stay off that game, although people have given opinions. What other games you want to discuss, Jimmy the Bag? Let's talk about Portland-Toronto. How about that?
Yes.
Toronto's on a back-to-back. They lost at Washington, and Portland playing great and covering. I think they've covered 7 or 8 in a row, or maybe there was one push in there. But Portland just rolling, right, Jim? What do you think? A no-brainer play on Portland as a dog here?
No, but it is a line that was. Has it changed at this point? Sorry, I haven't looked at it in a couple hours.
Okay, I will look at it. I'm saving some nice comments here. Yeah, what do you got?
4. Yeah, I don't think so by any means. No. We got this issue with Nurkic first. So Mo Harkless is questionable with a back injury, and Nurkic is probable after leaving the Bulls game with a quad injury. That's a big issue if Nurkic isn't mobile. Because we got bigs that can bang with Nurkic, and they don't have a lot of he's their only real big on the team, because you can't think Chief Aminu is a big. Blazers are coming off their 4th straight win, 124-108 over the Bulls. McCollum just put up a career best 50 points, didn't even play the 4th quarter, put up a club record 28 points in the 1st quarter. They've now won 7 of 8, led the league with 11 wins in January. Like you said, they're playing very good. The Raptors are becoming more difficult to figure out. It's almost like Brooklyn to me. They were without C.J. Miles, who missed a 2nd straight game with knee soreness. Fred VanVleet has become more important in this team. He was in Toronto for the birth of his daughter, but even though Max liked Wizards in that game, I'm still surprised it was a 122-119 win for the Wizards. I just didn't think the Raptors were going to cover the spread, but I did expect them to win the game.
Portland's just been a juggernaut. It's now 4 market-wide. Jimmy the Bag. Another interesting game is, can we move on, or do you want to?
Yeah, I don't have a play on this yet.
All right, let's discuss Miami and Philadelphia. Philly, of course, has J.J. Redick back. Now, how much does that change things for Philly, Jim?
That helps them a lot. He was clearly missed, but he put up 20 points and they lost by 8 to a Brooklyn team without Hollis Jefferson. I don't know. I guess I'm just in a funny way with this card. I don't know. The Heat finished an impressive 10-5 in January. Goran Dragic will play in his first All-Star game after being named Kevin Love's replacement. They're 3rd in the league, allowing just 100.9 points per game, an impressive 16-12 on the road. The Sixers have lost 3 straight. They're coming off a 116-108 loss at Brooklyn. Redick back in the lineup, put up 20 points. They're just 3-7 over their last 10. They're just 12-10 at home. Sorry, Match Fix Gate, you are annoying me, man.
But he does say, fix of the day, Sixers and Heat under 202. So not only does he like this game, but he has inside knowledge that the game is fixed. So you know what that means? 100% winner, Jim.
Yeah, I couldn't give a fuck about what he's saying.
If the game is fixed, how's it going to lose, Jim?
Yeah, big.
A fix means that that they're going to make sure that it happens.
I know, I understand. I just don't want to get too caught up in what.
You mind if I keep going with this bit for about another 8 seconds? All right, the bit is over. Fixed bit is over. All right, I don't know.
Big Tiz 7 says agrees. Play of the day is Miami, Philadelphia under. Alex Rodriguez says Miami wins outright. Better team. I don't know. This is it's a tough spot. I lean towards the Heat.
I was as well.
How many points are we getting?
Not many, and that's why I didn't bet it. It's just 4. So, And once again, I forgot who commented on it, but once again, it seems like Philly is just covering every first quarter, game in and game out.
Twice, yeah. They're 19 in a row.
Right. So with Redick back, maybe you want to take a blind shot on Philly first quarter again. The line right now would be just -1. Miami's a good team, though. That's the problem there.
Miami is a good team. It's been hitting over and over and over and over again, but I'm uncomfortable. God, I keep repeating myself. I feel like such a pussy today, but this is an uncomfortable spot.
All right, well, we can revisit all this shit at 6 o'clock, of course, especially since we have a relatively modest college basketball slate of games. Let's see, what else do we want to get to here in the NBA? Well, let's talk about Utah Phoenix. Of course, Utah blasted Golden State last game. That is 2 straight nice margin covers for Utah. Phoenix coming off a nice home win as well, which I knew they were a good bet there, and I didn't. That's another fucking pick in my lean column that was a winner that I didn't have the ball to give.
But Booker and Marquise Chris came back to line up last minute, so you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But if we had known that they were going to be there, did you hear that Marquise Chris is the 4th player in league history to record 100 steals, 100 blocks, 100 threes before his 21st birthday, joining LeBron, Durant, and Kobe Bryant?
Wow.
This kid is a special athlete. So him and Booker came back and looked great. Josh Jackson put up 21 points. Now his back-to-back games with at least 20 points and 8 boards. Those are the 3 guys they move forward with.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Some other comments. Tomino says Philly's playing up-tempo and Redick isn't playing any defense. I think the over in the Miami game has some value. And also some other comments here. Hako Schofield says take the over on the Miami game. Ryan Cartwright says, Ryan Cartwright from Miami. Great read on his hometown team. Yeah. Miami will win. Much better team. I don't like the 76ers here. So that makes me think Miami's second half, especially if the Sixers are up in the first half. If Miami's down by like 6 or 8 in the first half and the line is, pick 'em or something like that, Miami plus a half, definitely I will be on Miami on the second half. Al Mack says Philly 104-103, so he likes the over there. Yeah. And a Miami cover. Matt U, 1984, likes Miami and the over. Melas Pelas Way likes a Miami on the under, but Donald Trump says +4. Everyone liking Miami here, plus the points, and except for the people who are looking at Philly to be a good bet on the first quarter. Al Mack also says Jazz wins by double digits, and I was thinking about a shot with the under on this game. What's your take on Utah's pace right now, Jim, with what's his name back?
I was very curious to see how they were going to play without Cephalosha and Rodney Hood out of the lineup, and they're pushing the pace. It's been interesting because you know what? Bart Nelson says Sun Jazz under 211, just like you said, and I like that play. Jazz are coming off giving the Warriors such a lopsided defeat. They shot 58.7% from the field. They've won 3 straight, 4 of 5. Joe Ingles dropped a career-high 6 threes. Rubio had 11 assists, 23 points, 11 assists. We've been waiting for him to do that his whole career, and he rarely shows us any glimpse of that. And Donovan Mitchell put up another 20. But the Jazz are just 7-19 on the road. Suns feel good after snapping their 5-game streak, getting Booker and Chris back rolling again. Alex Len is day-to-day. Isaiah Cannon fractured his left ankle, done for the year. God, is it me or are these every one of these games tricky?
When I looked at it, the only play that I liked was Golden State on the first half, which I thought was either a trap or a no-brainer play. And other than that, I just had some leans that had me scratching my head, like the under in the Lakers game and the under in this one. All right, so Al Mack says I like the under in that Jazz game, Pete, but it'll be super close. Juan Juarez says I like the over in the Suns Jazz games. Donald Trump says Utah is just very confusing right now, pace-wise, playing-wise. Everything is just weird about this team, and I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's see other comments here. Coming in. Alice Rodriguez. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. I like Fort Lauderdale a lot. That's a place we should do some shows from Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale's a cool place. Have you been there, Jim?
No.
Oh yeah, Fort Lauderdale. One of my favorite places in Florida. Let's see, because it's kind of touristy, but a little bit like low renty touristy, and they also have a great flea market, a massive flea market that's like a tour. Yeah, it's an awesome place, Fort Lauderdale. I would love to live there. All right, let's see. What else do we have? I don't know.
Pacers Hornets.
Melas Pelas says Utah 3-12 ATS last 15 on the road.
And but I just don't know what I'm going to get from them. Like the whole idea of me saying, "Oh, this is the play," is when I can really trust what I think either pace or how the game's going to go. And they're throwing me fucking curveballs, constant curveballs. I don't know what to expect from them. Russell Beiswanger with a curious comment. He's not usually someone who makes sort of hard to figure out comments. He goes, "I partied with the official from Miami." A lot of people love to talk about how they party with the referees and the players and stuff. Russell Beiswanger says, "I partied with the official from Miami, and he said the under is a lock before he passed out." I think that's maybe a joke, right? I think that's a joke. All right. I think so.
But it's like when people talk about like either like chicks that like me or inside info that they have in sports betting, I'm just, even though I know it's bullshit, I want to know it. I just want to know it.
I know. I think the chicks dig you, man.
No. It's not that the chicks wouldn't dig me. It's that they're chicks. I
was only concerned with that Trong Win.
Yeah, right. Trong Win. drawing to win. All right, so I don't know. What do you want to? Yeah, Alex Rodriguez saying swat shot, baby. Yeah. All right, what do you think, Jimmy the Bag?
Well, the Pacers-Hornets game, the Hornets are playing better. They're clearly playing better. And will Kemba Walker be upset after not being picked for the All-Star game? Dragic was chosen over him. I don't think they should have given it to Kemba Walker. His team is being shit this first half of the year, and he hasn't stepped up the way he should. Pacers are coming off a 3-0 homestand, but they were against weak opponents. But one of those opponents was the Hornets, who they beat 105-96. And if you remember that game, I had the Pacers, and people were dead set to thinking I was on the wrong side in that game. Nate McMillan will not be at the game due to personal reasons. How will that affect things? Oladipo continues to play exceptionally well. He has scored 21 or more points in 6 of his last 9 games. Pacers are 6-3 over that span. Miles Turner is questionable with a sore knee. He's very useful in this game. The more I think about this game, the more I'm starting to lean towards the Hornets. Pacers are 11-13 on the road. Charlotte coming off their best month of the season. It was just 8-6. Interestingly, they went 5-1 after a loss and 2-5 after a win. They're coming off that 123-110 win in Atlanta. Kemba Walker went off for 38 points, 9 threes. In Monday's loss to the Pacers, Dwight Howard went 8 for 11 for 18 points in the first half and only took 3 shots in the second half. Marvin Williams has been ruled out. He seems to give Howard space to put up these monster numbers. Cody Zeller is probable to make his return from the lineup. He's a player that really helps this team, but he won't help tonight because it's just his first game back. Joe D says Kemba Walker rarely been in his zone lately. If he is one tonight, Al Max surprised the Hornets are favored. Seriously says the Hornets are great at home. And then match fixer's back.
Oh, very nice, very nice. And here we go. Fix the game in the end. Sixers Heat under. Listen, he says that it's fixed, and also Russell Beiswanger says he partied with the ref, who also told him it was a lock before he passed out. So,
Coop Boy says, I love Indiana tonight. Miles Turner's going to have Dwight Howard's number. We don't know. I don't think Miles Turner's going to play tonight. Coop Boy. And then, so what do you think of that? I'd love to hear what you think. So let's just cap the game as if Miles Turner's not in the lineup and Sabonis has to do all the work. They're going to have a tough time with Dwight. Miles Turner is hugely important. So, in fact, I won't make a play on this game until I find out what's going on. And if Miles Turner is not in the lineup, I think the Hornets might be the play.
Okay, here you go. Isaac Manian says, I was banging the ref's wife last night, and she said the under is a lock in Philly. Wow. We can use some of this shit for the Loshak in the Bag movie. You know what I'm saying? We can use some of this. Someone who's actually banging a ref's wife, and she tells him what the lock is, right? Wow. I don't know, man.
While she screams Pete?
Yeah, right. While watching the Loshak in the Bag show. Absolutely. Wow. Man, this is a tough card. I was thinking that maybe Charlotte would be the play here just because the line seems to indicate that. Al Mack says, I don't know why Charlotte is favored here. He likes Indiana +3 all day long, and that is kind of why I was thinking as well. It is a revenge game, of course, for Charlotte. Indiana beat them at home last 2 games ago. So I was thinking that Charlotte, that would be my lean here. Charlotte -3, or maybe taking a weaker position on the money line, which would be about -150. So yeah, it's a tough card. As of right now, Jim's given no plays, right? I've given Golden State first half -7.5. Things I'm thinking about: Charlotte minus the points, -3. Thinking about Lakers Brooklyn under, although a lot of people have said that they that to stay off that one. Thinking about Miami Philly under, because so many people have said for various reasons it's a lock. And also definitely going to be looking at Miami on the second half, and very tempted to just take Miami on the full game +4 as well. Utah-Phoenix, tough game. I'm leaning under on that one, that's for sure. And then we still have to talk about New Orleans and OKC. New Orleans clearly not doing well with Boogie Cousins out. OKC on a back-to-back, lost at Denver, almost came back. I talk about a lot of my second half plays that are big winners, and I had Denver +5.5 huge last night. So that was a big second half loser for me. And that was a loser.
Oh, sorry, but you had them overall in the game.
No. I had second half +5.5. So if I had tweeted that one out, everyone would have gone big on it. Everyone would have lost. So, the second half plays are not always winners for me. Pelicans have lost 2 in a row. OKC's been a dead over trender. Yesterday we had a very astute commenter say that the first half over was a great play. That one cashed easily. I don't know. What do you think about this one, Jim?
Well, Mirotic was traded. So we need to have that confirmed that he will be in the lineup tonight. So this is another spot where we are going to have to wait a little bit before making a play. And I will make a play on this card, and I won't force it. I'll make a play that I believe in. We just need some time. I just need some more time with it. So Mirotic is a big help to them since getting murked by Bobby Portis. He's averaged 16.8 points, 6.4 boards. In their 114-103 loss at Sacramento on Tuesday, the Pelicans were out-rebounded by 13. They were just basically going to lose out, and Anthony Davis was going to have to play 40 minutes a game, and both those things you just can't allow to happen. They're 13-12 on the road. The Thunder on the second half of a back-to-back after losing 127-124 at Denver last night. They're now 1-2 since losing defensive stalwart Andre Robertson to a season-ending injury. He was blatantly missing last night. Nuggets put up 72 in the first half. They need to trade for a shooting guard. Terrence Ferguson and Alex Abrinas are not going to cut it. Thunder are 19-7 at home. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Hako Schofield said OKC been traveling too much, take the under. Dan Kelly says Pelicans team total under. Interesting.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Oh, and Jose Ing says Mirotic out. Okay, thank you. That is going to make it easier to, and that makes sense. How would he get through all the yeah.
Here's an interesting comment from Irie Trostar. Golden State never wins at the half or first quarter ever. Go back and look. That's true. Golden State also very, very, very rarely gets blown out by 30 points. Go back and look. You know what I'm saying? So it's a unique situation for Golden State. Yeah. Yes, they never win at the half or first quarter. Rarely are they coming off a 30-point blowout loss. Good point, though, Irie Trostar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Irie Trostar, great guy to have Kevin with us. And he had a really nice day yesterday. It's a spot that needs more time. But if the Pelicans aren't going to be able to rebound, and as Bart Nelson says, they only have 8 players dressed. I don't know. I don't know. That's just going to take more time for me to figure out pace and if they're not going to get any boards. Jeremy M says I strongly lean under on that game, and I think that might be a good spot. Might be a good spot. God, I wish I didn't have this uncomfort with these games. But I'm just being honest.
All right. Well, Jim, we do have to wrap it up in a second. I'm seeing someone I don't think they're going to come to get us, but we do have to wrap it up. Here we go. Pritchie says, I banged Match Fix Skate's wife last night. She told me he's a losing capper. Oh, shit. We also got some entertainment value in. That's a good line there. Very Pritchie. Who the hell is that?
Pritchie comes out of nowhere.
Pritchie, there you go. Nice line. Nice line. That is professional level comedy writing right there. Pritchie. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Okay. Everyone likes it. And S.J. Shark Ruiz asked me to read it. I just read it before I saw that comment. All right, Jimmy the Bag.
Knicks Bucks we can touch on quickly before the end of the show. Bucks are on that's the last one, I believe. Bucks are on the second half of a back-to-back after getting killed by Minnesota tonight. That first half was a great spot. I wish I had doubled up. I guess we don't need to fear Minnesota in fourth quarters at home anymore. That seems to be something that stopped trending, at least over the last few weeks, even though they're still playing terrible on the road. So this Bucks team is another really interesting spot. So Malcolm Brogdon suffered a strained left calf in the second quarter. Giannis Antetokounmpo suffered an ankle injury late in the fourth quarter. Why Prunty had him out there. He's taking a lot of heat. They're down 20 points late in the fourth quarter, and you leave him out there when he's dealing with this knee pain. Eric Bledsoe is also questionable with an ankle injury. Then they're going to be bringing back Jabari Parker, who's playing his first game back from an ACL tear. That's messed up. That is a difficult. That when you take all these things into consideration.
Yes.
And then the Knicks have lost 4-6 coming off that disgusting 30-point loss at Boston. Now I remember earlier in the year, Tolmore said he always backs teams who are coming off a 30-plus point loss. And but then with all the injuries to the Bucks, there was not even a line when about to start the show.
Well, actually, yes, and that was actually a game that I capped this morning. I forgot that was also another bet that I made and a pick that I liked. I like the Knicks. They opened at 4.5. It's now down to a 2.5 or 3, and I particularly like them on the first half and the first quarter. I might triple up on this one, Jim. I just like the Knicks. I think it's a good spot. You know what I mean? Everything's falling apart for Milwaukee right now after the big boost from losing Kidd, and the Knicks, of course, a team that is prone to being tired. So their last game they were clearly just fatigued, right? But also a team that is in general, I think, a team that can be looked at to get covers somewhat regularly when they're not fatigued. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do, and I think you're probably right. Dexter Rojas says Knicks. Twatty says Knicks over. Ben Abroad says Giannis out and Parker back. Bucks forced to force the ball too much to Parker. They can't really play Parker more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's just not.
No, they said that he's on a minutes restriction.
Yeah. But the issue with New York is Hardaway, man. He's been struggling. He's not regaining his form.
I think we have someone at the. Hey, Juanma, do we have a video after this?
Oh, yeah. Like
Juanma was not paying attention. Very nice. No, Juanma having a good time. Juanma was just chilling.
I was paying attention.
I wish everyone could have seen this. Juanma was just chilling. Just chilling back there.
Not true, man.
Behind the videos.
All
right, look,
we'll bounce. But Hardaway 1 for 10 from the field for 4 points for the Celtics, averaging just 11.3 points over his last 4 games, shooting 35% from the field, 26% from 3. It's a mess.
Okay. Juanma out there in La La Land behind the controls. Juanma at the controls. All right, let's see. I'm going to take the Knicks first quarter and first half. All right, that might be a little bit stupid, but I'm going to take him.
I don't think that's stupid.
Right. Okay, I'm going to take the Knicks first quarter plus a half minus 101, and I'm going to take him on the first half plus 1 minus 104, and I might wind up taking him on the full game money line. I might triple up on this one. Knicks plus 1 minus 104 on the first half.
Buttlicker says Porzingis was just dumped by a sexy ass girl. He's not playing well. Knicks lose.
Oh, is that true? That might be true.
That sounds true. I can't back, I don't know, but that sounds true.
All right, I'm going to take the Knicks first quarter and first half, plus 1 minus 104 in the first half, and plus a half minus 101 on the first quarter. Maybe I'll revisit that in the 6 o'clock show, but that's what we got right now. And any other plays you want to give, Jim?
Well, if we have a few seconds, we did not. I guess I accidentally. We have not talked. Someone just mentioned we didn't talk about Hawks Celtics.
Talk about it.
Yeah, and okay, Celtics have won 3 of 8. Marcus Morris was helped off the court with a hip injury. Kyrie Irving remains day-to-day with a right quad contusion. Marcus Smart's out for 2 weeks with a hand laceration from punching a picture frame in Los Angeles hotel room. Shane Larkin's dealing with a knee injury. But man, Terry Rozier looked awesome. Triple-double, 17 points, 11 boards, 10 assists. Second player in NBA history to record a regulation time triple-double in his first career start. Celtics have beaten the Hawks in both matchups this year, 110-107, 110-99. Celtics are 19-8 at home. Hawks have lost 4 or 5. Dennis Schroeder is listed as questionable with the shoulder injury. I initially was like, man, I might back the Hawks here. There might be a nice spot, but I can't do that without knowing that Schroeder's going to be in the lineup. God, and then Bill Butler talking about Monroe to Boston. Yeah, this is Searcy likes the Knicks tonight. There's a bunch of guys off of on the Knicks. But God, this is a tough spot. I'm going to keep hammering these basketball games and have some firm plays for sure.
We will. A lot of times with games like these, if we're having a tough time figuring out obvious value, it means the market probably is too, which means that later on in the day, good betting value can come to light. As of right now, Jim has given no picks. I've given Golden State first half minus 7.5 and the Knicks first quarter plus a half and first half plus 1. Let's just quickly review some other comments.
Yeah,
here.
guys, I got a note there from production. Yeah, we got to wrap up the show as soon as possible.
Really?
We got a ton of things to do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Juanma, on top of shit. We got to wrap this shit up. We're going to wrap it up right now. Thank you so much, Juanma. No, we're not getting Juanma fired. Someone don't get Juanma fired. No, that was just a joke. I just played it up for the joke of it. But, all right, with Jimmy the Bag, you have no picks right now. Shall we move on?
Yep.
All right, college basketball. We're going to wrap up the show. Jim has not given Jim has not had time to look at the games, but he's going to today. I have not had time to look at the games. Certainly some interesting stuff. Obviously the Ivy League games, and obviously the question of Illinois Chicago as a big underdog. Do they have value or not? Not exactly sure. Rhode Island VCU will be an interesting game as well. We'll be back at 6 o'clock to review all the line moves, add some plays maybe to this very interesting professional card today, and give some college basketball picks on the Small Friday card. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to all the commenters. Thanks to Juanma for doing a great job behind the camera as always, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern Time.